And a crisis of sorts is brewing in the Arewa Consultative Forum, which has suspended its chairman after the northern body accused President Bola Tinubu of impoverishing the north. In a communique issued at the conclusion of the forum's National Executive Council meeting in Kaduna, the ACF expressed dissatisfaction with the current economic policies, which it said worsened conditions in northern Nigeria. The forum's chairman, Maman Usman, stirred controversy for saying that the North will back a northern candidate for the presidency come 2027. The organization said Usman's statement was made without consulting or discussing with other leaders and members of the ACF. Now let's cross live to Kaduna and speak to the Secretary General of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Murtala Aliyu. Good to have you on Newsnight tonight. First off, who really signed off on the suspension of the chairman of the ACF? Because the thinking is whatever position he took was representative of the general sentiments within the ACF.
Well, let me start by talking about the people that signed. The people that signed were the chairman of the Board of Trustees and myself, the Secretary General. And I think it's the responsibility of the Secretary General. And when the Board of Trustees chairman is around, he will co-join to sign such a very important information or such an important document. But I think to say that that's the general opinion of the ACF is to take it too far, because the issue is not on whether the people in the north are impoverished or the other way, because every Nigerian knows what is happening. Government may have its own reason for its economic policies, and also its government that will explain how it will work or how it will succeed. But for the actual feeling on the ground is that people are on the edge. So, but to say that the North has decided on any political position or come 2027 was not something that was discussed. So I think that was why the contention was, not on whether Nigerians are in good shape or not.
So what exactly is the position of the ACF vis-a-vis President Tinubu's economic policies so far? What are the thoughts of the ACF on this?
Well, we've made our statements previously. We are still making our statements today. The persons on the street are really complaining. They are suffering. Food is becoming difficult on the table. People are finding it difficult to move, even to go to work. These are realities on the ground. But the government has explained, and it's government's responsibility to tell us when this will be eased. And so as ACF, we will continue to tell government that people are complaining, that people are suffering. And even if the pains of cure, they have to know that this is happening.
Yeah, first off, is the ACF engaging the northern leaders, the governors, the traditional institutions, and what have you? Is there any kind of engagement, to get them to understand that at the end of the day, the buck stops on their table to, provide good governance for their people? Because one has heard a lot of northern elite, top northerners say that the northern leaders themselves have failed the north.
Well, first of all, let me say that we engage the governors at the governors forum level. We also engage the governors at individual level. We also engage the traditional rulers, and where there is a responsibility at the subnational level, we bring their attention to that. We are not totally blaming the national government for all the wars in the country. Just like the North, any part of the country will have to wake up at subnational level to do the right thing. And so the federal government will complement those efforts. But such economic policies, the macroeconomic policies, are actually defined by government at the center. And if things are going right or wrong, it's the center that should address it. At a micro level, the state governments or the governments at the national level will handle that, and we are talking to them. So we're not saying we're heaping all the blame on one person or one location. No, we're saying all people at the leadership level should wake up to their responsibility and also be aware that the people at the grassroots are complaining. And so we expect to see the promises government made that changes will come soon and that succor will come to the people.
There is this growing, the growing voices of discontent in the North, whether it's the Northern Elders Forum, the Arewa Consultative Forum, and a few other, sociocultural groups in the North. Those voices, growing gradually, and many are saying, is it because a Southerner is at the helm of affairs? Because when a Northerner was leading this country in the last 8 years, there wasn't much of this kind of complaint coming from the North. What do you say to that?
I think that's an unfair judgment, because I can tell you when, at least the last dispensation, a Northerner was in government, and I think we are huge critics of that. And this can be verified. Check our records. We have all our publications. We have all our outings. And there's never been a time we'll be quiet about anything. There was never a time like that. And ACF is going to be 25 next year. We've been consistent on the objective of the ACF. We've been consistent on bringing attention to government. And we're not only criticizing. Sometimes when government does something that we press the government. So it's not as if we are just there criticizing. But when there are things that we think that need attention of the government, or need to draw the attention of the government, we call their attention. It doesn't matter who is there. And I wanted to understand that people should recall that before the election, we invited all candidates to Kaduna, and we interacted with them. At least 5 out of the 6 candidates, major candidates, appeared, including the current president. And we've been straightforward. We've been straightforward on that. So, and we didn't take side on any. If we wanted to take any side, we could have taken side then, but it's not the objective, or it's not the way of the ACF to take sides on who should become the president of Nigeria. What we are concerned about is who will do well for the country and who will address the particular issues of the North.
Is the Arewa ACF, Arewa Consultative Forum, already thinking about 2027? Because there are whispers here and there saying that the Arewas may not, vote for Tinubu come 2027, already looking inwards for a northern candidate. Is there any such thing on the table?
That is not the position of the ACF. That is not the position. Official position of the ACF is that, look, the responsibility of selecting who becomes a candidate is for the political parties. So if the parties throw a candidate, we will look at which candidate is better for the country and which candidate is better for the North. We are not against any person. We are not against the current president. And if there are calls for any 2027, ACF is not part of it. We are not partisan. We may be political, but we're not partisan. We don't take sides. What our interests are, the interests of the generality of the North, and how it will benefit the whole country.
And I'm glad you add, how it will benefit the whole country, because as it goes Nigeria, so goes the North. But this tendency to want to speak for just one section of the country may further deepen the lines, the fault lines in the country.
By the pedigree of the leadership of the ACF, hello, we are people that have been at national leadership level. We've also interacted from all sides of the country. And the North, now being more than half of the country in terms of population and almost 80% of the landmass, we should be stable. For the country to be stable, for the sub-region, West African sub-region to be stable, in fact, for Africa to be stable. So we are conscious of that. And when we are pushing, anything that destabilizes the North will certainly destabilize the whole country. And we're conscious of that. So we're not just pushing the interests of one corner, but we should actually, because that will stabilize the country. But we're not just pushing that. We are looking at any situation where the North will not be changed, and the North also will not be bearing on the whole country.
Is there any policies or any moves by the Tinubu government that pleases the ACF, that the ACF is happy about? And by the way, is the ACF speaking for the generality of the North?
No, so far, we have said this before, that at least the president is a listening president. Anytime you raise an alarm over an issue, the issue is addressed, contrary to what had been happening earlier on. And we've said that, and we praise the president for being responsive to issues that are raised immediately. And I can give you examples. When the young people that were arrested during the End Bad Governance demonstrations, we called on government to do A, B, C, D, and the response was almost swift. And there are quite a number of times when we call on government and we find that the response is swift. And we are very happy with that. And so when the government does something good, we'll say it. We will not just shy away and say, okay, look. And let me say one thing very clearly. The president is also a northern president because he got majority of his vote from the north. So we'll not pull down what we have pushed forward. And let me make it very clear. We are not against, like I said, any person. But I will tell you, whoever is there, whether it's the current president or the previous president or anybody coming in future, we will speak our minds. We'll be very clear. We'll be very straight. We'll not go under the table and talk. We'll talk outside so that the president will hear and the president will know and people working for the president. And not only the president. We've been talking to our governors. We've been talking directly to them. We've been telling them where they should buckle up. And I think we are not, like I said, we're not partisan and we're not parochially sectional. We just represent the interest of the region and ensure that that region is not changed and that for the benefit of the country, that region should be strengthened to contribute to the country.
So we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. Murtala Aliyu is Secretary General, Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF. Thanks for joining us. There's more to come on Newsnight. Stay with us.